Coming up, a mountain coaching legend has died.
Dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News at 11.
Good evening, I'm Steve Hensley. We begin tonight with the loss of a coaching legend. B.B. King, who spent most of his career at Knott County Central, died today. He battled health issues for years, but coached and fought until the very end. His last game coaching the Breathitt County Bobcats was less than 2 weeks ago at the WYMT Food City Mountain Basketball Classic. WYMT's Courtney Lane Brewer joins us now with more. Courtney?
It's a sad night in the 14th region. One of the best to ever grace the sidelines at Knott Central has died. B.B. King died this evening after several days in the hospital. He was involved in mountain basketball for 40 years. He was a member of Knott Central's 1979 and 1980 regional championship teams and still holds the spot as the third leading scorer in Patriot history. As a coach, he spent 12 years at his alma mater, leading the Pats to a 260 and 109 record. 7 district titles, 5 14th region titles, 3 regional All-A titles, and produced Knott Central's only Mr. Basketball in Cameron Justice. King took over as head coach at Breathitt County this season. Funeral arrangements have not been set. We'll have more on Coach King later in sports.
Courtney, thank you. Heading over to the weather picture now. Things are looking quiet around the region right now, but that looks to change as we head a little bit later on into the work week. Here's a look at the severe weather alerts region-wide right now. Winter storm watch comes as far west as comes as far east as Louisville. Winter wind chill watches further to the south. Wind chill warnings to our west. Winter storm warnings to our north and west. All is quiet right now, but we will continue to see a rather rugged weather picture begin to work into the region. Upper 20s to near 30 right now. It's a chilly one. Temperatures already mid-20s in Irvin. Many of us, though, settling into those temperatures near 30. Clouds have continued to move out tonight. As we head through tonight, we'll continue to see those temperatures falling into the 40s and eventually the 30s as we end up near 50 for tomorrow afternoon. But we've got big changes on the way as we head towards Christmas. Those details in a few minutes. Steve?
All right, Evan, thank you. With dangerous wind chills in the forecast later this week, local law enforcement officers are asking drivers to stay safe and stay home if you can. The Pikeville Police Department is reminding drivers of the dangers of icy road conditions, saying anyone who has to be on the roads Friday especially and into the weekend should do so carefully. Officer Tony Kahn says there are some small ways to stay as safe as possible.
Before you leave home, make sure your car is roadworthy, good tires, antifreeze levels where they're supposed to be. It doesn't take a minute to check all that.
To best prepare for the weather and see updates on the forecast, you can always download our WYMT News and weather apps. Governor Beshear announced more help for flood victims in the form of housing today. The governor says a donation of land coupled with hundreds of thousands of dollars from the Team Eastern Kentucky Fund will jumpstart a new development project. WYMT's Phil Pendleton has more on what the development will mean for flood victims.
All right. Hello, everybody, and what a great day to be in Eastern Kentucky.
With Christmas just days away, Governor Beshear announced a big gift from an Eastern Kentucky couple in the form of a land donation.
It is an incredible property, one that offers hope to this region and to our families, and it's made possible by the kindness of Sean and Tammy Adams.
The couple is donating an initial 75 acres that could grow to 300 in the development. The Adams are recommending it to be called the Olive Branch Community, located near the Knott-Perry County line. It'll include homes, apartments, and recreational areas.
Maybe even an elementary school, all surrounded by wooded areas so we don't lose that great outdoor space.
Talk about the epitome of fulfilling Scripture. That's what the Adamses are doing here. They don't have to do this. It's because of their love of humanity and mankind and their neighbors that they're doing this.
$600,000 from the Team Eastern Kentucky Fund will pay for 8 brand new homes in partnership with the Housing Development Alliance. Governor Beshear says there is also help coming for repairing homes damaged outside the floodplain.
Total investment of this build will be $800,000. That'll repair 80 homes in the region.
Beshear says similar announcements will soon be made for other counties impacted by the flooding. In Knott County, Phil Pendleton, WYMT Mountain News.
Lawmakers say they will also work in the upcoming legislative session to come up with more assistance in housing. Earlier today, Operation Barbecue Relief was serving meals to folks in need. The organization has been in our region multiple times since the flood happened in late July, and one Knott County resident who lost everything says it means a lot, still receiving help from so many outside organizations.
Well, where we're staying at right now it's real small, and it's real hard to cook and stuff.
Operation Barbecue staff served hot meals and frozen meals for families to enjoy later. The staff says they served around 3,000 meals today. Santa made a few early stops in Johnson County this evening thanks to a local volunteer fire department. WYMT's Jordan Mullins has more from W.R. Castle Fire and Rescue's Santa Run and how the department is helping the community have a Merry Christmas.
On Tuesday evening, officials with W.R. Castle Fire and Rescue in Johnson County invited a special guest to the station and held its annual Santa Run.
We're going to try to saturate as many of the areas here close to the station and where there are a lot of people as we can, and just cover as much as we can before it gets too dark and too cold and before Santa has to head back north to finish up for the week.
Heading out and braving the cold to give back to the community.
Being part of the tradition is a huge, heartwarming feeling because it's something that is bigger than yourself. To get out and actually volunteer and do something selfless.
Greeting families with open arms.
They still believe in the Christmas magic and the Christmas spirit. They come out barefoot, no socks, no shoes, 10-degree weather, and it's to see Santa Claus. They couldn't even tell you that their feet are cold. All they want to do is see Santa.
And making a memorable Christmas.
We can give them a nice memory, some good pictures with the family, a good time to see Santa in person and have a little time to talk with him. So yeah, if we can't fix some of the other things, maybe we can give them something else instead. Spreading a little cheer this holiday season. In Johnson County, Jordan Mullins, WYMT Mountain News.
Deputy Chief Brian Jeffers added that Santa had a blast meeting all the kids and flew back to the North Pole around 9 o'clock tonight to prepare for his big day later this week. A warning now from pharmacies. Drugstore chains including Walgreens and CVS are limiting the amount of children medications they sell due to shortened supply and high demand. One pharmacy owner in Lexington says he's been pairing folks with prescriptions for 40 years and says the shortage of cold and flu meds this season is the worst he's seen in decades.
I think proactively buying cold flu products right now is a good thing because the flu doesn't usually peak till January, late January or early February, so we are way ahead.
It's a problem that may linger well into the new year and even early spring until the supply chain can catch up with the demand. A Michigan man is sentenced to more than 100 years in federal prison for armed drug trafficking and attempted robbery in eastern Kentucky. In July, 39-year-old Charles Ray Edwards was convicted of several charges. Testimony revealed Edwards was dealing heroin and fentanyl in the region and injured 2 people in a shooting incident in Knox County. Then, during an attempted robbery, a bystander in the store was shot and killed. A home in Rockcastle County was destroyed by fire. It started at the home on Countryside Circle last night off Highway 150. The Mount Vernon Fire Department says a car was also in flames. Crews say everyone inside was able to make it out. The fire sparked back up earlier this morning but has since been put out. The cause has not been released. A Pike County man was arrested last week after police found illegal drugs in his home while conducting a search of Stephen Adkins' home. Suspected meth, prescription medication, and marijuana were found, along with drug paraphernalia, firearms, and some money. The 37-year-old from Elkhorn City was arrested and taken to the Pike County Detention Center. He's facing several charges, including trafficking marijuana and possession of drug paraphernalia. Kentucky State Representative Savannah Maddox announced she is ending her campaign for governor. In a social media post, the Dry Ridge Republican said it was clear her campaign would not have the resources to be successful. Maddox faced a crowded field of Republicans in next year's primary, hoping to challenge Governor Beshear next November. The field of candidates is now down to 11. On the GOP side, Maddox says she looks to continue, quote, shaking the very foundation of the political establishment through her service in the Kentucky General Assembly. Coming up on Mountain News at 11, millions are traveling this week for the holidays, how crews are preparing for the wintry weather ahead.
Plus, continuing to watch that potential for big-time changes in the forecast. The latest on the way.